let's just settle into a nice, comfortable seated posture. If you are sitting at your desk, you can have your feet about a hip's width apart, your shoulders aligned with the hips, and imagine your spine is this beautiful string of pearls of light stretching from the base all the way up through the crown of the head and beyond. And just lengthen your spine. And breathe. Just notice the breath sensations. And bring your awareness to the crown of your head and just relax your scalp and your face. Allow your face to soften. Relax the back of the head, the neck. Allow your shoulders and shoulder blades to drop down. Relax the throat and the chest and the belly and all of your limbs. And just bring your awareness to the breath, noticing the sensation of the air as you're inhaling and exhaling. And just be aware of any sounds in your environment. And if you have sound in your environment, just try not to run off to investigate. Just allow the sounds to be there. And then just notice the thoughts that are arising in the mind. And you have this attitude of curiosity and one of observation. And so try not to have opinions about your own thoughts. Try not to judge or criticize your own thoughts. Just see what's there. We're just developing an awareness of our mind. And then bring to mind all the people of our life, your loved ones, the ones you don't like so much, and your strangers. And just remember that these relationships are all interchangeable. And they're all equal as well. That all these people are equal in their wish to be happy, they wish to be free from suffering and having this extraordinary capacity for this enlightened mind. So I think we'll do this practice tonight for the benefit of all these beings. Just, you can imagine all those beings in all these flooded areas, particularly in North Carolina, in Asheville, Black Mountain, all those areas around there. I'm sure many people suffering, Florida and all the other states that were affected. And then for Kimberly's aunt, Kimberly, you can just imagine her here with us, just maybe sitting or lying next to you, doing the meditation with you. And we just send light and love out to all the people who are suffering. I mean, they need more than prayers right now, but they are getting it. It's just, the place is so devastated. They're talking about they may never be able to rebuild Asheville. And it's the same thing that's happened up in Tamay. The people are not likely going to be able to go back to that same land. It's just kind of devastating and also quite sombering. This is how the effects of change to the climate are impacting us. So we can also think that all the prayers we're doing, all the practices that we're doing help to pacify the climate, to pacify the imbalances in the environment. So we think there is no negativity that can't be purified. And this purification practice is basically a psychological one. We create negativity with our mind, so equally we can change that and create positivity instead. So we start with this power of regret. So sincerely regret from the depths of your heart anything you have done to harm any living being on this day, in this life, and all of our past lives. And think of specific actions of both your body and your speech. And then in general, regret all. And the reason we're regretting is just based on this logic of karma, action. So everything we do has a result. And, you know, any suffering we're experiencing is from past negativity, harming others. So we don't want any more of that. So logically, it makes sense to remove these karmic seeds before they ripen as future suffering for us. So we really regret any actions that we've done with our body and our speech and our mind are delusions. And then we come to this power of reliance. So we rely upon, we turn to this Buddha, who we see as a doctor, who has these methods that we can use to purify. We're not needing Vajrasattva to forgive us. We're purifying ourselves by relying upon his methods. So you imagine Vajrasattva above the crown of your head. You can also imagine this is your teacher manifesting in this form for your benefit. And he's made of this radiant, blissful white light, sitting cross-legged on a white lotus and a moon cushion. And he's a beautiful, radiant face. He's got these beautiful eyes. He's looking everybody equally with love and compassion. And he has his arms across at his heart, the left underneath the right. The left is holding a bell. This represents wisdom, and the right holds a vajra, which represents the indestructibility of compassion. And their being crossed represents enlightenment. So just say a prayer of refuge to the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha. I go for refuge until I'm enlightened. By this practice of meditating on Guru Vajrasattva, may I reach Buddhahood so as to benefit all sentient beings. So in order to develop compassion, we need to rely upon other beings, the very beings we have harmed and those who have harmed us, by developing compassion for them. So think particularly of people you've harmed recently and in the past, and then in general, all beings we've ever harmed since beginningless time. And then remember those who have harmed you and have compassion for them, because the harm they've caused you is going to end up causing them considerable suffering in the future. So make a strong wish to purify for all these beings. And then we come to the power of the remedy, and this is the medicine doing the practice of purification. We start with the body, and Vajrasattva very compassionately sends powerful white nectar, like coming out of a hose, quite forcefully from his heart, and it arcs around and enters your crown and pours into your entire body, filling you completely. And it keeps pouring into you until it forces out of your lower orifices all the harm you've ever done to any living being with your body in the form of inky liquid. And this pours out of you and disappears into space, not one atom left, as we recite the mantra. Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita Jida meboa Situkaya meboa Sipokaya meboa Anarakta meboa Sawasidi mimpiyata sawa kamasita me Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum ha 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 ho Bhagawan Sawa Tatagata Vajrama Mimutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata Ahompe Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita Jida meboa Situkaya meboa Sipokaya meboa Anarakta meboa Sawasidi mimpiyata sawa kamasita me Sitam Shriam Kuru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Savatata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata Ah Hum Pe and Vajrasafa Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasafa Dina Patita Jira Meboa Sitokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anurakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yata Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriam Kuru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawatata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata Ah Hum Pe and Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Jita Meboa Situkaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anurakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata Ah Hum Pe and Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Jita Meboa Situkaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anurakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata Ah Hum Pe and Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Jita Meboa Situkaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anurakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata Ah Hum Pe and Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Jita Meboa Situkaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anurakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata Ah Hum Pe. So be delighted that all the harm you've ever done to any sentient being with your body is now completely purified, and think that there's no way you could do anything but benefit others now with your body. And next is this purification of our speech. And Vajrasattva very happily sends powerful nectar from his heart chakra, and it arcs around and quite forcefully enters your crown and fills your entire body, except this time forcing up to the top of your body all the negativity of your speech, and this overflows and disappears into space, not one atom left. So just imagine all the gossip, the harsh speech and the useless speech and lying and talking about people behind their backs and getting other people to agree with you, all our inappropriate speech. All of this is purified by this powerful nectar filling you as we recite this mantra. Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Drita Meboa Situkaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anurakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata Ah Hum Pe and Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Drita Meboa Situkaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anurakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata Ah Hum Pe and Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Drita Meboa Situkaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anurakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata Ah Hum Pe and Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Drita Meboa Situkaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anurakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata Ah Hum Pe and Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Drita Meboa Situkaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anurakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata Ah Hum Pe and Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Drita Meboa Situkaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anurakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriam Guru Hum Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawatata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata A Hum Pe and Vajrasafa Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasafa Dina Patita Drita Mebawa Situkaya Mebawa Sipokaya Mebawa Anorakta Mebawa Sawasidi Mepi Yata Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriam Guru Hum Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawatata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Satva A Hum Pe. So again, feel so happy that your speech is now completely purified, and imagine it's not possible to do anything but benefit others now with your speech. And next is this purification of our mind, and Vajrasattva now very compassionately sends powerful beams of light from his heart chakra, and this arcs around and enters your crown and fills your entire being. So you imagine you've walked into a room, it's pitch black, you flick on the switch and the light comes and instantly dispels the darkness. So the same here, the moment the light from Vajrasattva's heart hits your heart, all the darkness of the negativity of your mind, so all the attachment and neediness, anger, depression, resentment, anxiety, jealousy, bitterness, all of that is instantly dispelled, not one atom left as we recite the mantra. Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Jira Mebawa Situkaya Mebawa Sipokaya Mebawa Anurakta Mebawa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawatata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata A Hum Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Jira Mebawa Situkaya Mebawa Sipokaya Mebawa Anurakta Mebawa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawatata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata A Hum Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Drita Mebawa Situkaya Mebawa Sipokaya Mebawa Anurakta Mebawa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawatata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata A Hum Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Drita Mebawa Situkaya Mebawa Sipokaya Mebawa Anurakta Mebawa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawatata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata A Hum Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Drita Mebawa Situkaya Mebawa Sipokaya Mebawa Anurakta Mebawa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawatata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata A Hum Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Drita Mebawa Situkaya Mebawa Sipokaya Mebawa Anurakta Mebawa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawatata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata A Hum Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Drita Mebawa Situkaya Mebawa Sipokaya Mebawa Anurakta Mebawa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawatata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata A Hum Pe. So be delighted that all your delusions, which are the source of all of our own suffering and the cause of why we harm others with our body and our speech, are completely purified, and think that there's no space in your heart now for anything other than love and kindness and forgiveness and wisdom and bliss and compassion. And next is this purification of even the imprints of negativity of the body, speech, and mind. And this time, imagine that Vajrasattva sends light and nectar, and it fills you completely and eradicates even the subtlest imprints of negative energy from your mind. So it's kind of like it's a much more subtle purification, this one. It's like, the analogy they use is removing just that last bit of smell of garlic from the jar. But we're talking at an energetic level here on our mind stream. Vajrasappa Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasappa Dina Patita Jita Meboa Situkaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha 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 Bhagawan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata Ahompe Vajrasappa Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasappa Dina Patita Jita Meboa Situkaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta meboa sawasidi mimpi yata sawa kama sita me. Sitam shriyam kuru hum ha 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 bhagawan sawa tata gata vajramami mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sata a hompe. Vajrasafa samaya manupalaya vajrasafa dina patita. Jita meboa situkaya meboa sipokaya meboa. Anarakta meboa sawasidi mimpi yata sawa kama sita me. Sitam shriyam kuru hum ha 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 bhagawan Sawatata gata vajramami mutsa vajrabawa mahasamaya sata ahompe. Vajrasapa samaya manupalaya vajrasapa dina patita. Drita meboa situkaya meboa sipokaya meboa anurakta meboa sawasidi mimpi yata sawa kama sita me. Sitam shriyam kuru hum ha 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 bhagawan. Sawatata gata vajramami mutsa vajrabawa mahasamaya sata ahompe. Vajrasapa samaya manupalaya vajrasapa dina patita jita meboa situkaya meboa sipokaya meboa anurakta meboa sawasidi mimpi yata sawa kama sita me sitam shriyam kuru hum ha 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 bhagawan sawatata gata vajramami mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sata ahompe vajrasapa samaya manupalaya vajrasapa dina patita jita meboa situkaya meboa sipokaya meboa Anurakta meboa sawasidi mimpi yata sawa kama sita me. Sitam shriyam kuru hum ha 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 bhagawan sawatata gata vajramami mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sata ahompe. Vajrasapa samaya manupalaya vajrasapa dina patita. Jita meboa situkaya meboa sipokaya meboa. Anurakta meboa sawasidi mimpi yata sawa kama sita me. Sitam shriyam kuru hum ha 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 bhagawan Sawatata gata vajramami mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sattva hum pe. So now feel you're completely purified. There's not one atom of negativity left in your mind stream. Even the subtlest obscurations to your enlightenment have been removed. And now we come to this power of resolve, and this is the fourth and final step in the purification process, and it's a really crucial one. And this is this determination to not harm with our body and our speech and our mind, to refrain from harming. So first of all, just rejoice in your efforts in coming along here tonight. Also rejoice in your ability to do so, that you have internet, you have a safe place from which to attend the class. So I noticed that Shrey's not here tonight. And because he's in Israel, of course, then I start to feel a little bit worried. Is he okay? So he's in a part of the world that's not very stable. You know, most of us here are in fairly safe places. So, you know, just rejoice in that, the merit that we have from that. And then think of something you'd like to work on between now and tomorrow. I think honestly, the thing that we all really be good to pay attention to is what this kind of internal dialogue. Just see to what extent we are maybe just reprimanding ourselves constantly, even as jokes, you know. So maybe we could change that a little bit. So Vajrasattva is delighted with us and wants to merge with your mind and melts into white light and absorbs into you through your crown. And think, my teacher's body, speech, and mind, Vajrasattva's body, speech, and mind, and my own body, speech, and mind are the same. So next, Rinpoche would always recommend to meditate on emptiness. In emptiness, there is no I, the creator of negative karma. There is no action of creating negative karma. And there is no negative karma created. So at whatever level your mind understands emptiness, just place it there for a little while. We can think of all phenomena as being empty. They do not exist from their own side. We can also think that the way things appear to me may not necessarily be the way they actually exist. It's always good to question that, because we're not always right about everything. And everything we perceive isn't really always correct. So let's just dedicate all the merit, all the positive energy we've created doing this practice to all living beings, and think, may all the virtuous karma I've created from doing this practice ripen as my enlightenment for the sake of sentient beings as quickly as possible. And let's just do our 3 verses. Swift return of Lama Zopa Rinpoche's unmistaken reincarnation. The Buddha, endless and beginningless, the Buddha at the start, devoid of sequence, with wisdom as his only eye, unstained, Tathagata with wisdom as his body. The sovereign of all language, great debater, the king of discourse, best of orators, the best and greatest of communicators, the unassailable, the lion of speech, with universal vision, true delight, with fire garlands, handsome to behold, the endless knot, most radiant, great luster, with shining rays in hand, providing light. So I just want to read you all this email from a man by the name of Kenny Van Billemont. He is in Belgium, I think. Anyway, he does this practice on YouTube, and he says, end of month numbers recitation 840. So every month he writes to say how many mantras he's done. And he says, dear Venkati, my dad's cancer surgery went well. We'll need to wait for more details. Also 840 recitations to give away. Thank you for mentioning my presence in the group. I'm not working anymore. I'm on disability. I have a chronic illness called fibromyalgia. And so he uses these lessons I learn and practice on a daily basis to remind me of our path. Kindness, compassion, and wisdom. Van Billemont Kenny. And I think that's maybe how they. So anyway, he is one of our group, but he's just not with us but I just wanted you to know about him, because every month he writes and says what he's doing, but he's struggling as well. So we can dedicate for Kenny. I think fibromyalgia is quite a difficult disability, inflammation, and it's quite hard to deal with. So anyway, and lots of love, everybody, and the strong wish for His Holiness the Dalai Lama to live long, and for the swift return of Lama Zopa Rinpoche, unmistaken reincarnation. I say it that way because sometimes there's a reincarnation that comes along that's maybe not the right one. Anyway, and then for all of your own precious teachers, and may all the people that are missing be found safe and sound, all the animals that are missing be found safe and sound, and somehow the hearts and minds of all these people that are suffering so much and a lot of grief, may somehow they be comforted. Okay, everyone, lots of love. Take care, and I will see you all tomorrow. Okay, thank you so much. Thanks for hosting.
Thank you.